Warning: this program is intended for adults of legal drinking age. Whiskey is consumed and discussed. The intent is to educate our palates on the differences of whiskey flavors and not an intent to get drunk. Please drink responsibly.
Hey everybody, welcome to I Fucking Love Whiskey. My name's Andrew Pierce and I fucking love whiskey. I'm always joined with my good friend, Joseph Limbaugh.
It's me. I'm Joseph Limbaugh. Hello, I fucking love whiskey.
And
also, we have a delightful guest. This is Dax.
Hello.
Love Dax.
Yeah, and she's a friend of mine from murder mystery shows, but an amazing actress, musical writer. She writes musicals, and also she likes whiskey.
And
I think
love whiskey. Yeah, I say I fucking like whiskey at least.
Okay, well let's dive into that. Let's unpack that, shall we?
Yeah.
You're also a self-described obnoxious cat mom. What is that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You just love your cats to death.
I just have these two cats and they're all I talk about, and everything they do is the cutest thing in the world. And I can't not show pictures of them to people. They're just my whole life. And it's like, I'm programmed this way. And it's like, I'm a lesbian and this is very stereotypical. I'm like a childless lesbian. I shouldn't, but someone needs to do some research on why we're programmed to love cats. I don't really get it, but yeah, it's annoying.
No, I have two cats and I feel exactly the same, like 100% exactly the same. Like
you must be a lesbian too.
If you follow Joseph on Instagram, it's pretty much
it's all just I only put up cat pictures because I feel like that's all anybody's gonna want to see is like
right. It's so cute.
Right? And that's my cat looking at me. He's like, I'm like, I kept that picture because he looks like he loves me. He's like, and he does.
He does. Yeah, he's pretty funny. Well, let's start. You can see down in the lower corner of the approximate times in the time code where we're going to get to these whiskeys if you want to look ahead. But right now we're going to start with the John Milroy. This is an Inchgower. And it is at starting off at 55.8%. We're trying to hurt ourselves today. It's single bourbon cask, refill hogshead, bottled in 2018.
Inchgower is a distillery, right?
It is.
Where is it from?
It is in the Speyside region. Do you see it on your index there?
I'm sure it's here somewhere. I don't know that I've had one before. Yeah, it's there. An Inchgower. Have we had one before? It seems like a pretty rare distillery to me.
It's not common to see them. They're generally independent bottlers. Let me just check let's just check the database to see.
You mean you get them from independent bottlers? Is that what you're saying?
It's hard to. I don't think the distillery releases any. Yeah, in fact, this is the only bottle of Inchgower I have. So no, we haven't had it on the show before.
Wow, that's interesting. It's interesting to me that there are whiskeys. I guess I've never talked about this before. There are whiskeys that are only they don't like sell like buy an Inchgower. It's like no, we just sell barrels to independent bottlers. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like Diageo has a lot of that. And we're gonna actually go to Collectivum.
But doesn't Diageo don't they put their whiskey in a lot? Or don't they go into a lot of blends though?
They go into a lot of blends. So Inchgower is probably supplying a blend of some sort. And I should have looked that up before the show, but I was busy eating pizza.
I guess we should smell this whiskey.
We should smell this. Yeah, let's nose this. Oh boy.
This smells like butterscotch. That's my professional opinion.
Super buttery. Good call.
I mean, that's a common note that you get in whiskeys, but this is like overpoweringly butterscotch. Like it's like I feel like this is Willy Wonka's butterscotch room,
Yeah.
Yeah, I fully expect this to taste like candy. Like I'm very excited.
That's always the hope, but we have whiskeys all the time that just don't prepare you with the nose. The nose is like, oh, look at me, I'm all flowers and bunnies. Then you taste it and it's like, I'm the troll that was using those as puppets.
Yeah, I really do hope. I do hope. Dax, I'm with you. I hope it tastes exactly like it smells.
I really want that.
We don't know. We don't know.
I get a little bit of the toasted wood gives me buttered toast in there. Just like with the butter, just melting. Just you put on too much butter. And it's just
there's definitely like butterscotch, but yeah, I feel like it's like butterscotch in melted butter, or like a candy store where they have like they're melting the butter and the sugar together, like
in the window, they got that little stir thing going.
Yes.
what's that word? What is a candy store? There's like a French word, or like I think not patisserie, but like there's a word for like a candy shop. I don't know.
Bonbon Factory, I think that's right. You can look it up on the internet. I'll be right, sure. All right. Well, I think we have to let everyone go in here. So.
All right. Oh, wow.
Boy.
That's not what I expected.
Yeah.
Starts out kind of there, and then, yeah, it takes a left turn, doesn't it?
It's like that factory if the factory was on fire, or like the candy shop if it was on fire. Like,
it's
because once again, the nose is very inviting and gentle, but like there's like a burn to this. Like it's, you know, and I know it's like 55, but still it seems like quite alcohol-y.
And then after like a minute, after it sits for a minute, then it tastes like burnt candy. It's like a pleasant burnt candy taste to me.
Like that bit that's dripped off onto the baking tray and you've scraped it off.
Right. That's what it tastes like at the end to me, like after a second.
That caramelization.
Yeah.
And now the nose smells like more tinny to me. It smells more metallic.
Wow.
And Paul says that was wild. You had the exact same reaction and timing. Like, I don't know. This whiskey,
whoa,
a wallop.
It really is like, and it is surprising how strong it is. Like it really burns.
It goes like straight into your nose. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, this is the show we hurt ourselves in.
Yeah, but it's like, I know we're gonna have like stronger whiskeys. I guarantee one of these is gonna be smoother than this, because this is so not smooth. I'm kind of interested to science this, because I feel like it has so much heat. I feel like I want to science. This is one of the first whiskeys I've been like, I really want to throw some water in this and see what happens, you know?
Yeah.
In fact, I might do that. I might do that now.
I might join you.
Just take a sip first, just to really lock in and memorize kind of where you find it. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I'm really trying to like do that thing where you leave it in your mouth for like as long as possible.
Like
it's hard to do, and
it gets angry.
And it tastes it's like rusty. It's like rusty metal. It's like to me, what the taste is like bing. Yeah, it's like metal that's been rusted in water, you know, like it's
that changed so much with the water.
With one drop, right? Isn't that amazing?
Now I'm getting the rusty water on the nose. Like the butterscotch is gone for me.
Yeah.
Kind of like a rusty pale. Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm like in a metal yard that's been out. That's or a junkyard where there's been rain in Portland. It's like a junkyard in Portland that's like metal everywhere and lots of rain.
Wow.
Hey folks, let us know what you're tasting in the chat. We're interested to know that too.
All right.
It revealed its true self.
That
it somehow got stronger
for you. Yeah. For me, it calmed it down.
Huh.
It calmed it down at first, but the end is still going right up in my nose.
Yeah, I can't. Okay, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it pushed pushed all the heat to the back, like the end to the finish, and it's still hurting me. Like it, oh my God. It makes, it's like it calms it down. Wow, that's so weird. I have no idea what's going on with this. Like it changed so much. That's really radical. Whoa.
Wow. I feel gaslit by this whiskey.
Yes. This whiskey, I like it, but it's like I feel like it's not being nice at all. Like it's
no, it's like singing its sweet little song, and then once it gets you in its clutches, it's like shows its teeth, man.
Yeah, this is like that. What was the guy that everyone was talking about? The guy who kept ghosting people. What was his name? I forget. Like on
What, the Tinder guy
Yeah.
or whatever? I don't remember his
Well, not
name.
the-
I know what you're talking about.
West Side Paul or something like that, or West Side, I don't know, Tom or whatever, the guy in New York who was like ghosting a bunch of women. This is,
Yeah, he was
I
like
feel
a
like that's
serial
what,
ghoster.
yeah.
Yeah.
Although I like this better than him, actually.
Yeah.
I don't really even know him.
Oh, you know, with water, I'm starting to feel a little bit of that butteriness come back finally.
I don't know.
Just
It's
before the
gone.
finish comes in and goes, oh yeah, and fire.
Yeah.
What a crazy, crazy dram.
What an interesting start to this show. Like, this is really, yeah. Hey Dax, thanks for coming with us on this journey. This is not typical. Like, I feel like we gave you some interesting surprises. I hope you're enjoying them.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I'd like to know what Thad, what do you think about this?
Oh yeah, what does Thad think?
It's interesting. Like, this is a very interesting first whiskey to start on. For me, right off the nose, I got Hubble Bubble Bubblegum. Like some sugar candy. I definitely agree with the butterscotch. And then with water, I was getting like cinnamon, but artificial cinnamon that you would find in like Red Hots was like in there. As far as the taste goes, for me, it was like, wasn't stuff really on fire. It was like tires that were like dripping with diesel fuel. Like, it had been driving for 8 hours and like it stopped at a truck stop, and then like that sort of like whole culmination of picking up old oils and fuels. And then past that, it's like I also got hints of like paper that's like super old. Like when you open up a book that's like 30 years old, like that type of feeling. And then on the finish was it was very interesting for me. I've never had breadiness in the finish, but I had it in this finish. So
Was that bread dipped in gasoline and on fire?
it was more like a stale bread, like, you know, like a 2-week-old baguette that you're trying to eat, even though you know you shouldn't.
It's going to just shard into the roof of your mouth.
You know what? You should just make that into croutons, really, at that point, I think.
Mm.
My cat might jump onto my lap. No, he's
I
playing with it.
very much hope that happens.
He's not. He found a bag that I brought upstairs, and now he's climbing inside of it.
Well, that's the fun thing.
Mm.
Holy schmoly. So, Dax, what are you working on? Anything that's online that people can see and follow?
Well, online, I'm just doing the virtual shows with Live in Theater. Joseph and I act together in virtual murder mystery shows. So
Yeah, you should check those out, because they're like, I hire them, like all the actors are great and they're really good shows. Like, it's really
they're
cool. Yeah.
so much fun. I love
Yeah.
them. Yeah, and then I'm writing this new musical as a commission from the Barter Theater, which is in Abingdon, Virginia. So we're doing the world premiere. I'm getting ready for opening, for this really cool like Appalachian musical that they commissioned from me called
Very
Kentucky.
cool. Is this going to be an in-person event?
This one is in person. Yeah, this one is not. I don't think it's going to be available online. So if you're
what was it
anywhere
called?
near Virginia, it's called Kentucky Spring. It's like it's a sweet little Appalachian love story, you know. So yeah, so that's mostly what I'm working on right now.
Right. And what got you into writing musical theater? What was that gem?
It was kind of an accident. I mean, I was always an actor, and I majored in theater, and then after college, I got hired at the Barter Theater, and I was there, and then I just sort of wrote music to like let off steam. I just come from a really musical family. You know, my mom put us in, we always sang in church, and my mom put us in piano when we were really little, and just had an interest in songwriting. Yeah, and then so they started asking me to write little pieces for like incidental music and stuff like that, and then started asking me to write musicals, and I discovered I really enjoy that. So it just kind of grew, and I've just been doing it for like 10 years now, writing for them, writing for other companies, writing for myself. So yeah, I've written like quite a few musicals at this point. It's really cool.
That's really cool. That is really cool.
Yeah, I like it. It's special. It's like it makes me feel like I have a superpower, just the ability to like tell tell the stories of these characters in a way that not that many people can do. I mean, a lot.
Oh, there's a question for you from chat. Dax, does whiskey improve the songwriting process, or is it a treat for after the work?
Oh, no, whiskey is my bribe. I'm like, okay, if I don't drink it too early in the process because then my work gets weird. But it's like, okay, if I do A, B, and C, then I get a glass of whiskey like for getting near the finish line. Yeah, I have to like dangle a carrot in front of myself to finish my work. So that, yeah, it definitely comes in handy for that.
So no more composing tonight then.
No, no, I'm all done tonight. It would.
And there's another question. Do you have a favorite piano piece?
Yes, I enjoy the keys the best.
This nose is getting really interesting as it's been sitting, and add a little water, by the way. It smells like a pine forest. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is really basic, but I just love Claire de Lune. I just love that song, and I have good memories associated with it. It's just so beautiful and simple and lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so like haunting, and it's used in a lot of movies, and I feel like it's almost a cliche, but it's still like whenever I hear it, it's just like it strikes me right in the heart, you know, like
yeah. I was in this production of Red Badge of Courage where we used it during like a battle when one of the soldiers was dying, and it was just like, oh my God. It was like, it broke me every time. So every time I hear it, I'm brought back to it. It was like one of my really good friends playing the actor, you know, the character who was killed. And yeah, I love that song.
All right, we moving forward? We got to move forward.
I think we're moving forward. It's 1:15. So this is a Diageo product. They take single casks from all of their distilleries, all 28, I believe. And they put one of each into these batches. So this is hard to find. This is it is absolutely the most expensive blended whiskey I've ever purchased. And let's see what we think. Wow,
Andrew never says that. This must be really expensive. I feel like I'm like on SCTV when I do this, like, woo. That's like such a dated reference of like, you know, monster hit thriller horror theater, whatever. Wow,
what a nose! Oh boy, this is.
Ooh, this one's like darker. I'm just saying words. I don't know what they mean, but that's how it feels to me.
Yep, that's all anyone of us can do.
This to me smells like just an entire forest has been mowed down with a giant lawnmower, a forest of like green, like saplings. Like to me, this is like snapped branches, like that smell of
that kind of green snap branch. Absolutely.
Yeah, like when you were a kid and you would like break a branch off that was like green and it was hard to break because it was so bendy.
Yeah.
But also like this could just be an entire fairyland of like plants. Like to me, this is just like the nose is so complex that this is like going to fairyland, going to the place where, you know, the elves live, and it's all just
it's like a bunch of like little voices going, come in, I'm soft and gentle.
And you know they're gonna screw you over, but you can't. You're gonna like, I can't not go.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, this is so much more interesting.
I have a little crush.
Yeah.
Should we? Well,
I mean, we could say this is like our favorite whiskey. Like, I definitely like that nose is so
in the
interesting.
nose. Yeah, let's say
it's such a complicated nose too. Like, it's just, to me, it's like, I don't know. There's some really interesting conflicting things going on in there,
and it could just be the wide variety of distilleries that have all come together here. I mean, Johnny Walker is usually pretty good, and it's because they use a lot of these same distilleries to create Johnny Walker. So this is an interesting.
But someone put this together. Someone was like, I'm going to do some of that and some of this. Like, this is like a concoction, right?
Yeah, it might be a procedural concoction because they do have a cask from every one of the 28 distilleries in here at the very least.
All right.
Let's go.
All right.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Effervescent.
There's still some heat on the finish, but it's not like overpowering. It's like,
like
the 55%. This has more in it, and it's like the heat is there, but it's not painful.
These are wine words, but to me, this feels really bright and acidic. And then in the end, it turns into smoke. It's just like, oh, campfire in your mouth at the end.
Oh, it's true. They do have some peated distilleries, so maybe there's a little bit of peat in here.
Yeah, I kind of like.
Sorry, Dax.
It's okay. It's okay. No, it was nice. It was a surprise.
This is definitely not heavily peated.
No, it's all.
Yeah,
good.
but I definitely like could see there's some notes of it in there for sure. Like just like a feather of peat.
Mhm.
But yeah, it does seem it, like you said, there's wine notes. It does have that same sort of dryness in the mouth to me. It does, like I do. There must be some wine casks. There have to, I think, probably, but I don't know.
Could be. It's pretty pale though.
It is, yeah. Do wine casks make it? I always think of that as like sherry casks when it's, you know, a darker color.
Yeah, redder. It varies. True, and it could be white wine casks like Bruichladdich uses. So.
Wow, it is
That
really
is a
interesting.
great nose.
Yeah, it really is. I love this nose.
It's funny how different it smells to me after tasting it. It's like, oh, it's totally different now.
That's usually my favorite moment of nose is after I have my first sip of it and then I go back and smell it again. To me, it's I don't know. It's like a synergy or something.
Huh. And now I smell like the smokiness of it.
Yeah, now it's a little bit more apparent now that you know what to look for, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
And Joseph, I can say this is my most expensive blended whiskey because most of the blended whiskey I have are things like
Well, I didn't hear the qualifier of most expensive blended whiskey.
Blended.
I thought you just said this was your most expensive whiskey.
No, not quite anymore, but it's up there.
I don't really think that often about how expensive whiskeys are because there's so many good whiskeys that are in a reasonable price range. You know, like I feel like, you know, I don't know.
And you know,
like
when
if
I have
was
one of these, this just sits on the shelf, and like occasionally you break it out, and it's a special occasion. Hey, have some of this. This is a. I have had this before, and I don't think I ever found as much in it as I am right now, and it's probably a better approach to it now. I probably came at it from a different whiskey. I was probably drinking something peated before because I'm a peathead.
Yeah, I really like this nose. Like it's so complicated. And once again, now I'm at a point where I don't want to put water in it because it's a little subtle, and I feel like it could like disrupt the balance.
We always have the backstop with Thad. Thad is going to put water in it.
Thad will always put water in it. He has to know. He must open Pandora's box.
He's the real scientist amongst us.
It's not my fault. I just have trouble with impulse control.
This is the part of the show where we just smell the whiskey and we don't talk.
Yeah. We know how to entertain people.
There is an ASMR component, I feel like, of the show. That's, you know, just.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I feel like you just keep shape shifting.
Yeah, almost like each of those casks just kind of rolls to the front with each new taste going, hey, I don't know if you noticed me, but I'm that sweet
Right.
floral one. Oh yeah, did you notice me? I'm the peaty one over here in the corner.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like if this was an SMWS cask, it would have, you know, the name of it would have changeling somewhere in the title. Just because of the fairy, the fairy connotation, the fae folk, and then, yeah, it keeps changing. It's like, you know, although technically a changeling is when, you know, the fae folk steal a child and replace it with, one of their own.
Right.
But, you know, I don't think do a lot of research for those titles. Oh, that's fiery. Mm-hmm.
It is. It still has a bit of a bite to it. It is funny because I know, well, I don't know it. Maybe not, but I have a feeling one of these other whiskeys, or maybe both of them, is going to be smoother than this, you know?
Well, I've got some hope maybe for the last one, the SMWS the 65% one. That might be a little bit nicer, but I do happen to know this Bunnahabhain is a beast. It's
Oh, really?
I am never coming back.
No.
Oh,
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
let us try again. Let us try again.
Thad, what do you think of this? And have you put water in it?
I haven't tried it with water yet, but you know, I can still give it. I spent way longer on this nose than I probably should have, but it's very enticing and very intriguing, and it changes from the moment you pour to, well, when you taste it, I guess, really. But for me, right off the bat, I got some like old 70s fresh paint, like the paint that's like extremely pungent and that has the label that's like hazardous fumes, like on the side of the can, right? Some acetone, and then like it started to change into like a blackberry cobbler with like ice cream, a dollop of ice cream put on top, and like you're outdoors sitting around a fire eating it. And then I totally agree with you with like the fresh logged forest analogy. Like it felt like walking down the lumber aisle in Home Depot or Lowe's or any place with tons and tons of just wood. And then moving on to the taste, like a lot of tart berries, blackberries, raspberries, more of those not overly sweet fruits. It was very bubbly and like some homemade whipped cream. And I say homemade because like not overly sweet store-bought stuff. It's like you don't add any sugar, you just whip heavy whipping cream, maybe add a little vanilla in there, and then you're done. It's delicious.
It's really good. And you
Yeah,
can
that
find
blackberries
Thad's
and
recipes
heavy
online,
cream.
by the way. Thad has a cookbook that'll be.
That blackberry
I do.
and heavy cream now, I'm getting so much of it, you know, like it's like a parfait with just like ripe, perfect blackberries and a heavy cream.
Oh my goodness.
That's good.
Type in Thad for 10% off here. Whipped cream.
All right, I have a little left. I'll put a drop of science.
You gonna do it?
See what happens. I'm gonna do it.
Oh, I'm gonna do a little too. I have like a tiny bit.
Bing.
Science.
Huh. I'm getting more heat on the nose now. Like it's burning my nose a bit.
I get more of that something sweeter on the nose now as well.
The blackberries are, I feel like, more prominent. Less of the cream. Huh. I don't know. I had so little left, it's hard to tell, but kind of more.
It's hotter.
It's hotter. It does seem hotter. Yeah. It's weird that the nose makes it like, or the water makes it burn more. Like that shouldn't happen. Like it should be the opposite, but it's weird.
Yeah. My tongue, the sides of my tongue are like from that sip. Oh,
Oh boy. Well, our tongues are going on a journey today. That's what's happening.
We're going on a little trip.
Everything in our palate, like our tongues, our nose, our nasal canals, all of it. Like I feel like it's been like you will experience whiskey in every part of your esophageal area.
In your ears. Taste this one in my ears.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Oh, so wonderful. Wow. Okay. Tangier, I think, with the water.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's more tangy, more sour with the water.
Pig in the glass.
Less of those pseudo sweet fruits and more of the kind of sourish berries.
More like less of a ripe blackberry and more like one that's almost ripe, you know, and it's kind of tart.
Yeah. I would give you that.
Thanks. I will take it to my grave.
Finally, I got that one yes from Andrew. That's all I was waiting for. Y'all, like I said, here it comes. However, I had this Bunnahabhain. A friend of mine got it from Whiskey Exchange in London, and I tried some of it. And I loved it so much, I bought 6 bottles because, you know, you have to defray the shipping costs. You have to kind of amortize it. You just buy 1 bottle, you pay the same as you do for 6. So I had to buy 6.
Yeah.
So it must be good if you bought 6.
Oh, it's really good, but it is, well, let's see what y'all think.
Okay.
Wow.
Ooh.
Isn't that's interesting? Yeah.
Now that smells like paint or turpentine to me, or like or the smokiness of like a peated whiskey almost, you know, like
It does, yeah.
or pull the inside of like an inflatable pool toy. I often say it has that same sort of a.
No, that's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. It tastes like it's like paint or the inside of a an inflatable swan that you would put in your pool.
Well, now I feel bad because I don't know for sure if this was peated or not. Oh yes, it actually is peated.
Great. Let's have some variety. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I just need to experience more peated whiskey.
Yeah. You know, this is a subtle peat. We're kind of sneaking peat into your diet. We're gonna see if peat is something you can.
Yeah, it's not an Islay. This is Bunnahabhain, so.
Yeah, which is on Islay, but. Don't tell her that. Right. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
It's the more subtle of the
It Islay. Is. They generally don't do peated stuff, so that's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really associate it like peat with Bunnahabhain usually, but.
That was just such an accurate description. The inside of a pool toy. That's exactly what it smells like.
Yeah, it's that kind of rubbery plastic. Yeah. Okay, well, let's dive in the pool, shall we?
Yeah, there that is.
There it is.
You know what? This one just off the bat, I would drink a glass of this one before the last one. I actually didn't hate that. I'm so happy. Yeah, 59.8 is a big punch. I think, yeah, again, it could be my approach. Like I maybe came to this really quickly up to 59% when I first had it and it was such a beast. And when I second had it and thirds had it. But anyway, but those previous 2 that we had were such rough ones that this one seems tame in comparison. This one's like, yeah. Oh, this is chill.
It's so crazy.
Wow.
If only I was that accurately devious, Tipsy Asparagus and Major Paul. Totally accidental.
This was all done by random.org. Wow, it is. This does have, I feel like, a more specific personality than the previous 2. Well, it's definitely the last one. Although I really liked the last one, it was such a changeling. It was so amorphous, and this is like, this is what you're getting. This is let me tell you what you're getting. It's this.
Yeah, it just opens itself up pretty quickly. If that makes any sense. It's just like, no, yeah, here I am. Here you go. And then here's like the second wave, but like generally it's upfront, it's honest, it's not gaslighting me.
No, it's showing you the whole shebang.
Yeah. It's like, here's my entire dating history. Here's my relationship with my mom. Like, take me or leave me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I have some issues, but I'm going to be honest. Here's my issues. And, you know.
Yeah.
If it works out, that's great. If not, I hope you enjoy these sips you've had.
That's right.
Oh, wow, that nose. It's like, once again, hey, the analogy works as far as we want to push it. But this nose, like coming back to it, like, I don't know. It's so weird that pool toy smell is like, I love it, you know? It's so weird to love something like that. It's like it's like smelling gasoline, you know, like people who like the smell of gasoline.
I like it. I think it smells. I think gasoline. I like secretly just like enjoy it.
Yeah,
I like the smell of jet fuel. That
jet fuel.
Yeah,
I feel like
probably all very bad for us.
I don't as often get to smell jet fuel. Like, how often am I like, I'm gonna smell some jet fuel? Like I
woke up and there was like jet fuel spilled on my counters again. Like,
if you fly out of Burbank, you walk out underneath the wing of the plane.
You go onto the tarmac. You go on what are they? The tarmac. I like that
smell
word,
it there.
tarmac.
You smell it there.
Also, it's very nostalgic because it's like I spent a lot of time in the pool when I was a kid, blowing up floaties and such.
Yeah.
So this like just transports me to that.
That's so
And
great.
that is one of the things I love is the nostalgia hit. You know?
Those floaties have been stored in the woodshed along with the logs that have been cut for the fireplace for the winter.
Right.
But this is the smell of brand new ones that you pulled off of the shelf at the store and opened. Like this is like fresh plastic that has been minted into a toy and shoved in a box.
Yeah.
I would agree on the first sip, but after tasting it and coming back to it, I get the wood in there as well. Oh boy.
This is my favorite whiskey.
That
6
time it-
freaking bottles of it.
Burned me when I smelled it that time. It was like
Oh yeah, you can, if you get your nose too close, sometimes it'll something to reset. You can smell your skin.
oh, I smell very sweet now.
Oh.
Is that what I smell like? Is that what I smell like to
No.
other people?
No wonder I smell delightful.
I smell really good.
Oh, like fresh baked cookies.
Everyone was right about me.
That's why they were all calling me Cookie around the office.
Oh, it all makes sense now.
You know what though?
File that
There is one
harassment.
thing. There is one thing I have to say. I fucking love whiskey.
This stuff is so great. This stuff is so great. I want to thank you for your braveness of admitting that, though, Joseph.
Thanks. Oh, this is a good one if you can handle it. To really let
Really
it
cold.
sit. Really let it sit. Move it around in your mouth. Try to keep it in there as long as possible. Like after Andrew's sciencing now. After the last two, it's not that hard to do, honestly, because the last two were so fiery. Like you can really give it some.
Maybe a little more so I can try that.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh.
I'm gonna wait on the science and see what others say because I still have quite a bit left. And you go ahead though, Dax, if you want to do it.
I wanna hold it here for a minute and see what happens.
Oh, let me nose it first. I don't think it changes the nose very much. That chlorine and rubber float, definitely there. Maybe it knocks some of the peaty smoke out.
Yeah. It's a journey to hold it in your mouth.
Burning.
It's a
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah, I was like, I just cycled through so much. Ended with a fire. Wow.
Yep. It's not as unique with the water. It doesn't have as much personality. It's not bad, but that's where I am.
I'm not gonna science it then. I'm gonna keep it as is.
Keep it as is because it's damn good, just as is.
It's funny, like I got a regular Bunnahabhain and I like it, but it's not like my favorite. But like all of the ones we've had that are like independent bottlers have been great. Like that's why I bought it. Like I was like, oh, I'm gonna try some Bunnahabhain, and it's like it's pretty good. But like I don't know.
I mean, most of the stuff we have on the show is single cask, which is going to have a lot more personality than their vatted whiskeys that they sell usually. Or did you get a single cask?
No, it's just a regular Bunnahabhain, like whatever their standard issue. And I like it, but it's not my favorite. I feel like it just got real sad all of a sudden. I wish Claire de Lune. I wish it would just start playing right there. I wish I could just push a button and it would be like. What do you think, Thad? Thad, what's your story, Morning Glory?
I agree with Andrew. No to the water. For me, the water killed off. Oh, well, sorry. I am biased, and I love peat and the smell of campfires and all the smoke, and it killed it off. But for me, without the water, I was getting like lots of smoked salmon right off the bat. Also, like that smell when you have like a Scotch tape that's like freshly ripped off the roll, some charred cedar, and then going past that, some waterfalls near a grassy field, and then after I let it sit for like probably 5 minutes, I was getting some sweeter notes, and it brought up this like memory of rice pudding. And when I grew up, when I had rice pudding, it was always a treat. I didn't have it often, but we would always dash it with nutmeg. So like all that culminating together. The taste for me, like this one was probably the roughest out of the three, honestly, for me on the taste wise. Like it was
rough,
a raging.
How do you mean by rough? What do you mean?
It was like it was very hard for me to pick out flavors on the taste for me personally. It was like a raging fire. Like there was smoke, charcoals, active just like fire in my mouth for the taste, and like some melted plastics. And then obviously the finish is gonna have like notes of charcoal. But the one thing that did stand out to me was like there's like this weird like tart sourness of like Granny Smith apples, like just dashed in there. It's just like, yeah, here you go, something good to end on.
You know, and listening to that, there's part of me that goes like, that could be a whiskey tasting, or that could be like, tell us how they tortured you, sir.
I was gonna say, like, that's why that's what Thad brings to the show is legitimacy. Like, I feel like all of his tasting notes are so great, and I love when he like gives his tasting notes. I love to like taste it again because I don't know, it's like all those specific things.
You can find them, yeah.
So I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, that's why I have that.
Yeah.
That's good. I know you've been waiting this whole show, and you've been very, very patient with us, Dax. Do you have a picture of your cat or cats that you can show us?
I mean, I thought you never asked. I was honestly.
Yeah, what are your cats' names? Tell us about your cats.
Okay, so I'll show you. So my cats are Cricket and Ava.
Love it.
Here they are being two angry little. Oh, I have to do this, right? What's the trick? Just
Yeah,
like
sit in front of it. Yeah.
Two angry little potatoes sitting on the bed. Just,
Look at the faces.
they're so mad. Yeah, and then here they are snuggling together. They're making.
Now, do your cats like? Do they get along? What's their level of getting along?
Okay, so this is the black and white is Cricket, and the black is Ava, and Ava worships Cricket. Okay, and Cricket just doesn't give a shit. So like, Ava like will come up to her, like bow down to her and like put her head down, like I'm submitting, like give me licks, you know. And Cricket will like roll her eyes and then like lick her a few times on her head and then slap her. It's the same thing every time. Like Ava's extremely submissive and just like worships Cricket. Cricket worships us. It's like a real like love triangle happening.
Yeah, for sure.
No,
yeah. I just think it's so interesting. All the different relationships cats can and animals can have to each other. You know, like it's fascinating.
Oh yeah.
Because to me, it's like I'm fascinated with human relationships, and it's like it's so revealing of how we are, because we're kind of the same. You know, like we're all like this same sort of like trapped in the cycle of like, I'm going to behave the same way I did when I was in grade school or whatever, you know? So,
right. And I also think people's relationships, specifically with cats, like a person's opinion of cats is very telling to me, because a cat requires consent. Like a cat is not going to let you do anything to it that it doesn't want done. It's not going to negotiate with you. It's just like, here are my terms. And like, if a person is like, I hate cats, I can't deal with that, they're so like aloof or whatever, it's like, you know, I think that says something about you. You know, I think you're a dog person. Like I like both. I'm not like in this binary of it has to be dogs or cats. Like I like both.
Me too. But I like both.
You know, they're both great. But if you're like only dogs, never cats, I'm like, oh, you want people to worship you? you know, and you want to just be able to do whatever you want, and they're going to think you're great.
Yep.
But a cat's like, you may not touch me, and you can't.
Yeah.
So I know, I think it's telling.
Yeah, although sometimes they taunt you, because my cat Bijou would always come next to me and lie on her back and just expose her belly, and it's like, no, don't touch that belly. That's a trap. She's waiting for you to touch her belly. Yeah,
it's true. They do that.
Yeah, no, that Tipsy Asparagus says both cats and dogs can be jerks. That's absolutely true. Yeah,
it's true.
They're jerks different ways. They're different kinds of jerks. So yeah, I love both. My dream home one day would be to have a cat and a dog that love each other. That is, I have some friends who have that situation, and it's the most adorable, but not as adorable as this SMWS we're about to drink.
Right. Look at this. This is
good transition. That was great.
So this one definitely not peated. This is a Speyside from Glenrothes, known for their very smooth whiskeys. This is called Umami Heaven, a 12-year-old. I've not tasted this yet, but this is funny.
It works out that it's in the SMWS glass.
Perfect. Oh, I wish I'd cleaned mine. Oh well. This is 65.4%. This lost almost no alcohol since being put in the cask. It is a monster.
This is the darkest one.
Yes.
It is what?
It's a sexy bottle.
Yeah. I like the SMWS bottles, mostly because I love SMWS, but
yeah, this is a first fill Spanish oak sherry butt that this was aged in. And it is one of 608 bottles they got out of it. So that's not, and it's 12 years old. So that's
and it's the darkest one, I think, of all the ones we've had so far. So it does look like a sherry.
Definitely like by a lot the darkest. Yeah.
That's a good indicator. It's like, if it's that dark, it's like,
What is that an indicator of as a dummy?
Its color.
It's like
what sherry casks will almost always be dark. Almost always, I think.
Oh, just because it's okay.
Yeah. It in terms of taste or quality, it's really not much of an indication. I've had some very pale whiskeys that are just amazing, and I've had super dark ones that are like, meh. So I haven't hated any of them. And this nose
reminds me of the first whiskey. It has that, like, not as much butterscotch, but it has that same sort of sweetness, that same sort of buttery, deliciousness to it.
It smells very like rich and almost like both sweet and like, no, that's a stupid word. That's not a good word. Let's see.
Wait,
kind of like meaty. I don't know. It's like,
no, that's a great word. That's an awesome word. Yeah. Sometimes I will smell a whiskey and it's like barbecue or like a savory like slice of meat. So I think that's a great word.
Like
I'm almost like a baker's chocolate, maybe.
Yeah, that's that sort of dark chocolate, but not sweet, sort of.
Yeah, like that's really good. I totally smell that.
But there is a buttery, there's a little bit of citrus in there too, just at the very end, like a little bit of like grapefruit rind.
I hope I'm not rushing things, but this is my favorite whiskey.
I might be with you on that.
Yeah. It's interesting that I'm thinking about umami because I know it's called Umami Heaven, and I definitely get some of that in the nose, but not much. I'm assuming it's going to be in the taste more.
Yeah.
That's where you usually get umami, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's like a back of the palate sort of, top of the, right?
Yeah.
Like chocolate, just like the deepest chocolate.
Yeah, this is like grapefruit rinds dipped in dark chocolate with with like the tiniest bit of sugar.
Yeah. All right, I can't delay this any longer.
I
could sit in this nose for a long, long time, but I'm just so curious.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh my God. That is like jumping into a pool of dark chocolate and it covers your entire body and then it turns into maple syrup. That's what that felt like.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, this is unquestionably my favorite whiskey.
Favorite whiskey.
Oh my God. And it's 65%. nowhere near the other three. Like it's
so
calm.
funny. Yeah, this is
so
the
calm.
smoothest. This is the smoothest of all of them we've had. It still burns, but not as much as the others.
That's like a leave your body experience. This, like, I have to drink this alone.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I could drink. I don't think I could drink a glass of this like in polite company, you know?
It does feel sensual in a very intimate way. Like I feel like it's, you know, like it's like let us turn the lights down and really get to know each other.
Yeah.
Man. Oh boy.
Oh my gosh.
This is my favorite of all of them we've had today for sure. Like it's
an unfair competition. This is
a really exceptional whiskey. You're smart to buy this, Andrew.
Yeah. And then just waiting for that moment where it like opens up in the back of your throat and turns into maple syrup. Oh.
Mm.
So Dax, I don't know if I've told you, but I fucking love whiskey. This is what gets me so excited about it, is like, I don't think I've ever had another whiskey taste like that. Like that is a unique experience. It's an amazing experience, and it's unique. But I've had other whiskeys that have been the same sort of thing. And it's such a wide, it's amazing.
I'm getting like coffee, like a really like coffee with mocha in it, but no sweetness. Yes. like a coffee and mocha, but once again, no sugar. Like it's like almost savory. But when I got the nose, it at first it seemed very almost sugary, but that's gone. Like it's all, to me, it's like savory notes, but like stuff that should be sweet, like chocolate, coffee, you know, but we're not putting any sweetness in it.
Right. And I don't want any sweetness in it. Like it's got like that depth and that like sexiness, but without actually having any sugar.
Oh my God, that umami is so there too. Like now that I've tasted it, like the nose and the taste, like it's very much that rich sort of mushroomy sort of like, you know, like underground earthy flavor. Like I'm taking a mouthful of loam or something, you know.
And I'm getting that joy you get when you have chocolate, like that kind of little burst of like endorphins, whatever it is that kicks off in your brain. Oh my gosh.
I fucking love whiskey.
This is, and see, I've done a tasting like this one other time with this guy who was from Scotland who like sat us down and was like, all right, taste this stuff. But it's been years. So this is fascinating for me because I just find the few that I like and it's just like, yeah, sure. I always have these in my house.
Nothing wrong with that.
But to go through these and just experience the range in them and how much surprise is in each one, it's just incredible. Wow.
These are some good whiskeys.
These are some good whiskeys. What are those core range ones that you generally stock?
I just keep like Makers and like Four Roses.
Four Roses, that's a good whiskey. Yeah, I like Four Roses.
Yeah. And then my wife keeps the Oban.
Okay.
Oban, nice.
Yeah, she likes that one. I don't like that one.
You said she likes peat as well, right? Does she have any?
Yeah.
Islands?
I don't, she's not like huge on whiskey. So I'm not sure. All I know is she likes the peated stuff, but yeah, I'll drink like a bullet, very basic, just like the stuff you get at the liquor store, you know?
Well,
those are all good, but those are all good like bourbons. You know what I mean? Like those are all bourbons that, because I'm not like a huge bourbon fan, but like all the ones you mentioned are like, I would drink those bourbons, you know, and you know, I mean, I would drink any whiskey really, but those, Four Roses is a nice bourbon. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they're like just good blue collar bourbons. Yeah.
Well, and yeah, no import tax. Like you can't beat the price of those things. They're there and they're good. But yeah, if you see a Glenrothes, it may be something you find, you know, if you're going to whiskeys, and if you like this, I mean, you won't find this exactly, but this is kind of along the lines of the signature of the stuff they do.
Ooh, okay, Glenrothes. I know I used to always I used to get a Glenlivet always at bars, but I didn't really know anything about it. I wanted to impress this girl.
Oh.
And it sounded fancy and intense. And so I was just like, yeah, give me that. And I would drink it all the time. And I don't even know if I liked it. I just knew she thought I was cool because I drank that. So I'd like to go back again and try it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've all had a whiskey to impress someone else at some point. Like, I feel like it is, but to me, it's like separating that from like the actual enjoyment of the drink was like a big like kind of milestone for me of like, because I would never like, I mean, I like Glenlivet, but it's like not the sort of thing I would search for, bar now. I'd be like, do you have any Ardbeg? Do you have any like,
Laddie or some Port Charlotte or
do you have that's but it's
and I'll agree. I've ordered a whiskey to try and impress someone, but it's just like playing in a band. Like you start out because you want to attract the opposite sex or the sex that you like, and it turns out you actually start to like the music, and that becomes a thing that drives you. Suddenly you do replace it, and it great. What a motivator to get into something is to try and attract someone.
Right.
There's a long comment by Paul I'm going to read if I can, because I've had a lot of strong whiskeys. One thing I've realized is that I associate with whiskey with campfires and the outdoors in general, even when it's a lot of peat, even without a lot of peat, which this show guesting actually helped me understand and put into context for myself. That's also to say that it's so helpful and nice to watch the show and see and hear how people interpret this remarkable drink. So thank you all. You're welcome.
Oh, and thank you, Paul. An excellent guest. Season 3, I want to say.
Who knows?
It's on the YouTubes there. You can find it.
Yeah, the SMWS. I always love when we have an SMWS. The Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, and I have their glass, but I don't know. They do a really good job. They're an independent bottler. They do such a great job of like selecting stuff that is interesting and then giving it a cool name.
Well, and good stewardship of it as well. So they have a bunch of warehouses where they age these casks that they bought from the distillers directly. And, unlike some independent bottlers, they wait. They'll keep sampling it until they go, oh, this is the year to bottle this cask. And then they make it available to the members to purchase, which is, we think they're very good stewards of this.
We like them.
Spirit.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Dax, is your keyboard closed? Can you play us something? No, sorry, never mind.
I mean,
that's too much to ask. That's not.
No.
It's in a box, right? You've just moved.
No, actually, I know I'm working on this musical all the time, so I'm actually sitting right next to my keyboard.
Right next to it. Oh.
That's not me volunteering to sing.
No, we're not going to ask that. I'm sorry.
How dare you, Andrew?
That was the whiskey talking. That wasn't me.
That was the whiskey talking.
That
was that old gaslighting.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I hope, Dax, I hope you try some more scotches. I think that'd be cool. And to me, because to me, like the scotches, like I feel like that's where it gets into a place where the flavors are really interesting, and the smell is really interesting.
Yeah.
They're allowed to experiment a lot more than bourbon makers are. Bourbon makers are really locked into virgin oak, toasted, made in the US. I'm never super surprised by a bourbon, whereas I can be super surprised by a whiskey because they can do so many amazing things, and they're just so many good people making it over there.
And I think that's why I always just like grab my go-to bourbons, because I just I know exactly what it's going to taste like. It's just like, that it's familiar. Blah,
and you like it.
And I know I like it.
The variety of whiskey makes it hard. There's so many different flavors and so many brands and trying to know them all. But that's what we're trying to do the show for, is to give people like, oh, hey, here's what these distilleries are bringing. And
because it can be it can be an intimidating thing to like step into, to explore. This has been amazing for me. This makes me want to go and experiment more and drink more stuff, because I just I don't know the vocabulary. I don't know what's out there. I don't know where to look.
Yeah.
You know, so
and Joseph and I are both available for rapid consultation. If you want to send us an email saying, hey, I'm at a bar, there's this and this, what do you think? It's like, well,
yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hate to bring this up, Joseph. Can I?
Oh, yeah, I guess it's time.
Dax, you've had these 4 whiskeys now.
Yeah.
Today. Joseph and I always get to this point where we have this burning question deep inside of us.
Seriously.
And after having these whiskeys, we just want to know, just, you know, for our own information. Do you like whiskey?
You know, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say I fucking love whiskey.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Yeah,
Such a
was,
journey to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was beautiful. Like Academy Award.
I wish,
I
like,
that in my heart,
I feel like once again, like Claire de Lune should have come in right there at that moment.
Yeah, you can edit that in. That'll be great. Yeah.
Chat's happy. You know, Paul's very happy. You nailed that. You nailed the line. Difficult dismount, and you just like stuck it.
Yeah. Thank you. No, I'm. This is such a treat, you guys. Thank you so much for having me. This is amazing.
Thank you for being a guest on the show.
Yeah.
You know, this always is the best hour of the week. Thank you out there for watching. Thank you outside in theater. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends and tell people about this. Thad, thank you for, again, bringing the best tasting notes out there. Aaron Harvey for our graphics, and especially you guys for tuning in. So that's our thank yous.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Hi, everyone.
Solange, everyone.
Cheers.